Whoa. How do we get him out of here? Do you know how to drive? Sort of, but my dad's truck doesn't have this many buttons.
Look, stop what you're doing, young lady. Your feet don't even reach the pedals. Scoot over.
Wait!
I don't want to hurt your friend, son. I just want to help.
Get in.
Okay, let's see. If this... Hey, old buddy. You better buckle up.
Hold on tight!
I thought I put it in reverse.
Set.
This is Michael Faulkner, and it is showtime at the August 9th, 2016 edition of the weekly Podioplex, brought to you on the Chronicles Network. This week's birthdays include Charlize Theron, Dustin Hoffman, Richard Oscar Goldman Anderson, Anna Kendrick, Sam Elliott, Ashley Johnson, Angie Harmon, Chris Hemsworth, Ian McDiarmid, Emperor Palpatine in a galaxy far, far away, and investigating the X-Files together, David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson. Starting the box office report, it was a weekend for the bad guys. At number 10 is Ice Age Collision Course, plummeting 5 from 5th. At number 9 is Ghostbusters, down 2 from 7th. At 8 is Nerve, holding tight from last week. In 7th is Lights Out, down 1 from 6th. And finishing out this week's bottom 5 is new release 9 Lives, running headlong into Curiosity with $6.5 million. This is bad all around, as any remaining family audiences will most definitely be taken up by Disney and Pete's Dragon next week. Audiences gave it a less than stellar B+ cinema score, and critics savaged it with an abysmal 4% approval rate. The top 5 this week begin with Star Trek Beyond, down 3 from 2nd with $10.2 million, added to a total of $127.9 million. In 4th place is The Secret Life of Pets, holding position from last week with $11.6 million, added to a total of $319.6 million. In 3rd place is Bad Moms, also holding position with $14.2 million, added to a total of $51.1 million. Sliding into 2nd this week is Jason Bourne, adding $22.7 million to a total of $103.4 million. And exploding into 1st this week is Suicide Squad, debuting with an impressive $135.1 million. That's a brand new record for the largest August opening weekend, beating Guardians of the Galaxy from 2014. Suicide Squad also had the largest August opening day and the largest August Thursday preview total. It also beat Deadpool's worldwide opening day. Bouncing it against fellow DC Comics-based films, Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice opened with a record-breaking premiere, but it fell like a rock in following weekends. The big question for Suicide Squad is if it can avoid that same fate. It received a B+ cinema score, which is better than Dawn of Justice's B grade. But Suicide Squad also got a 26% critical approval, which is nearly equivalent to Dawn of Justice's reception. I personally consider on par with Man of Steel and Dawn of Justice, but far more fun. DC and Warner Brothers finally got the memo that these films can be humorous. Margot Robbie and Will Smith are amazing, Jared Leto's Joker is decent, but far from my favorite, and there is a mid-credit scene that leads directly into Justice League, which is coming in November 2017. That said, the movie is chaotic and has some editing problems, and I settled on a 7 on a 10 scale. The breakdown on the cinema score is very interesting. The audience was 54% male and 46% female, and the women gave it an A-, where men offered a B+. Age-wise, 54% of the audience was under the age of 25, and 76% of the audience was under the age of 35. and that's one of the big reasons that the film did so well against critical expectations. The younger audiences scored the film into the A range. As an added bonus, Man of Steel 2 was put into active development on Monday, and while Suicide Squad's performance isn't explicitly listed as a reason for that move, it can't be a coincidence. Of course, we won't see that sequel for a while since DC Warner Brothers' slate is jam-packed through 2018, and it's likely that a standalone Batman film will come well before another standalone Superman film. One other consideration is the Harley Quinn-centered female stars of DC film that was announced back in May. Given this week's performance, that one's probably getting a beneficial production bump. Let's close out the box office report with what was winning in years gone by. 5 years ago in 2011, Rise of the Planet of the Apes took number one for a second week with $27.8 million. 10 years ago in 2006, Talladega Nights, The Ballad of Ricky Bobby won the weekend for a second time with $22.1 million. 20 years ago in 1996, Jack was the winner with $11.2 million. 30 years ago in 1986, Aliens took the title for a fourth and, sadly, final time with $5.8 million, and everyone should thank Ripley for her heroic sacrifice. And 40 years ago in 1976, The Omen took the box office crown one last time in its seventh weekend of release with $2.6 million. The box office premieres for August 12th are trying to thwart the Suicide Squad, starting with this week's headliner, Pete's Dragon, a family fantasy film starring Bryce Dallas Howard, Robert Redford, and Oakes Fegley.
Attention all units. We're eastbound on Millhaven Road in pursuit of a
dragon! It's a dragon!
You can't say dragon over the radio.
These are the adventures of an orphaned boy named Pete and his best friend Elliot, who just so happens to be a dragon. Pete's Dragon is rated PG. The second title is Florence Foster Jenkins, a comedy starring Meryl Streep, Hugh Grant, and Simon Helberg.
Stop there. There's work to be done. But you've never sounded better.
Yeah. Maestro, it is true that a lot of singers my age are on the decline, but I seem to just get better and better.
I know, it's hard to believe, isn't it?
Well, I am so blessed.
There is no one quite like you.
This is the story of Florence Foster Jenkins, a New York heiress who dreamed of becoming an opera singer despite having a terrible singing voice. Florence Foster Jenkins is rated PG-13. And the third title this week is Sausage Party, an animated comedy starring Seth Rogen, Kristen Wiig, and Jonah Hill.
Perhaps I could be of some assistance.
What? Who the hell is that?
Oh, only the most intelligent being alive.
I am sorbitol, maltol, xylitol, mannitol, calcium carbonate, soy lecithin, vegetable-derived glycerin, and talc. But for expediency's sake, you can call me Gum.
A sausage strives to discover the truth about his existence. Parents, please listen to me very carefully here. Sausage Party is rated R. There are also 5 titles on this week's limited slate, and you can find those in the show notes. Next up is a look at the home entertainment slate for the week of August 9th, and there's some big titles in TV this week, but not much in movies. I'll start with new releases on DVD and Blu-ray, and that list begins with Addicted to Fresno, a dark comedy starring Natasha Lyonne, Judy Greer, and Aubrey Plaza. This story follows the lives of 2 codependent sisters who work as hotel maids in Fresno. Addicted to Fresno is not rated. The second title is A Hologram for the King, a drama starring Tom Hanks, Tom Skerritt, and Sarita Choudhury. A failed American businessman looks to recoup his losses by traveling to Saudi Arabia and selling his idea to a wealthy monarch. A Hologram for the King is rated R. Swinging by new releases on digital video, I have one title that's Wiener, a documentary starring Huma Abedin, Amit Baga, and Adam S. Barta. This is an examination of disgraced New York Congressman Anthony Weiner's mayoral campaign and the landscape of today's political arena. Wiener is rated R.
When I was a child, my planet Krypton was dying. I was sent to Earth to protect my cousin. But my pod got knocked off course, and by the time I got here, my cousin had already grown up and become Superman. And so I hid my powers, until recently when an accident forced me to reveal myself to the world. To most people, I'm an assistant at Catco Worldwide Media. But in secret, I work with my adoptive sister for the DEO to protect my city from alien life and anyone else that means to cause it harm. I am Supergirl.
Moving right along to TV on DVD and Blu-ray, we start things there with Supergirl, Season 1 from 2015, starring Melissa Benoist, Micah Brooks, and Chyler Lee. Meet Kara Danvers, also known as Kara Zor-El, who escaped from the doomed planet Krypton at age 12 and was raised by her foster family, the Danvers, on Earth. There, she learned to conceal her superpowers and keep her identity a secret. Years later, Kara lives in National City working for fierce taskmaster Cat Grant, alongside her friends, IT technician Winslow Wynn Schott and photographer James Olsen. But Kara's days of keeping her talents a secret are over when Hank Henshaw, head of a super-secret agency where Kara's older sister Alex works, enlists her to help them protect the world from sinister threats. Though Kara struggles to balance her extraordinary skills with her human emotions, her heart soars when she takes to the skies. The next TV title is 11/22/63, Season 1 from 2015, starring James Franco, Josh Duhamel, and Sarah Gadon. Jake Epping, a recently divorced high school English teacher in Lisbon Falls, Maine, discovers a time portal in his local diner, which takes him to September 9th, 1958 at exactly 11:58 a.m. After several experimental trips through, he decides to live there until such a time as he may save President John F. Kennedy from the assassin's bullet in 1963. This series is based on the story by Stephen King.
Boom, 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 boom. Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom. How, 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 how. Hey, hey. You gotta come on.
And the third TV title this week is NCIS New Orleans, Season 2 from 2015, starring Scott Bakula, Lucas Black, and Zoe McClellan. Hot times, deep waters, America comes to the Big Easy to party, but the crimes can turn deadly serious. That's where the elite unit of NCIS New Orleans comes into play. As Special Agent in Charge Dwayne Cassius King Pride is responsible for cracking cases threatening America's security or involving military personnel. His hand-picked unit includes streetwise former New Orleans Police Department Detective Christopher LaSalle, ultra-dedicated Agent Meredith Brody, and their newest recruit, former undercover ATF agent Sonia Piercy. While the investigators are on the scene, the evidence gets handled by the technical experts back at headquarters, including offbeat forensic scientist Sebastian Lund, unstoppable hacker Patton Plame, and seasoned medical examiner Dr. Loretta Wade. From black market drones to deadly new drugs to lethal home invasion, no situation is too extreme. I'll wrap up the home entertainment slate with Blu-rays from the past, and this week I bring you one title, that's Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. A drama from 1958 starring Elizabeth Taylor, Paul Newman, and Burl Ives. Brick. An alcoholic ex-football player drinks away his days and resists the affections of his increasingly desperate wife, Maggie. A confrontation with his father, plantation owner Big Daddy, who is dying of cancer, jogs a host of memories and revelations for both father and son. Cat on a Hot Tin Roof is not rated. Don't go anywhere, because after this brief break for a bout of shameless podcast cross-promotion, the Weekly Podioplex will continue.
You go through there, it's 1960.
Stephen King's time travel thriller, 11/22/63, is coming to Hulu. And Golden Spiral Media will journey down the rabbit hole with 11/22/63, A Look Back. Join Wayne Henderson and Troy Heinrichs as they journey through the obdurate past. Life turns on a dime, so join us at 11/22/63podcast.com.
Welcome back. I have nothing for the Quick Flicks this week, but like I said last week, I'm working on a solution to get that segment back on track. With that, we come to the end of this week's edition of the Weekly Podioplex. If you want to discuss anything you heard on this week's edition, please take a moment to get in touch. You can surf on over to the brand new homepage at chronicrift.com and leave an audio message right there on the website using a microphone. Call us up on the shiny new voicemail line at 1-844-674-3453 or write to weeklypodioplex@gmail.com. Of course, you can still tweet us on Twitter at usernames chronic_rift and Weekly Podioplex. Give the Chronic Rift a thumbs up on Stitcher Radio and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. You can also find the Weekly Podioplex and the Chronic Rift on Facebook and Google+. If you haven't done so already, please stop on by and see the shows the Chronic Rift Network has to offer. There are the interview episodes of the Rift Regulars, the Spotlight interviews, Cyborgs, a Bionic podcast, the OSI Files podcast, the Batcave podcast, the G2V podcast, Generations Geek, presenting the transcription feature, the Doctor of the Dead, the Dan and Travis Show, the Sci-Fi Diner podcast, and so much more. Rumor has it that the main show may be coming back soon, so stay tuned to the feed, and check us out to find the culture in pop culture. If you're interested in more of my adventures, take a quick trip to my blog, Creative Criticality, where I'm watching every episode of Doctor Who for the first time from the very beginning of the franchise and reviewing those tales in the Timestamps Project. I'm in the middle of the 13th season with the 4th Doctor, and the link to those reviews can be found in the show notes. If you decide to pick up any of this week's new releases, why not do it through our Amazon store? You get the newest entertainment, Amazon's low prices and high-quality service, and each purchase you make to that store supports the Chronic Rift Network. Your support keeps us on the air, and we appreciate your consideration. Look for the links to our best bets and the network store in the show notes, or click the Amazon box on the website. The Weekly Podioplex is a Lucky Shot production and is produced by John S. Drew. This is Michael Faulkner. Thanks for listening. Until next time, remember the popcorn, and I'll see you at the theater.
That's a wrap.